Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Todd Chrisley says his sole intent, while in prison every day, was to make staff miserable. Todd Chrisley is revealing his prison pet peeve and how he dealt with it. During an appearance on daughter Savannah's Unlocked podcast on Tuesday, July 1, Todd and his wife, Julie Chrisley, opened up about their time behind bars, while the family patriarch, 56, said he rarely had conflict with other inmates at Florida's federal prison Camp Pensacola during his 2-year tenure. He admitted that he didn't exactly get along with those who worked there. "I told staff off," Todd shared. "I told CEOs, correctional officers, and staff off." When Julie, 52, noted that she never experienced that in the Federal Medical Center in Lexington, Kai, Todd teased that it was because she was probably up there being Miss Pollyanna, referencing the overly optimistic character in Eleanor H. Porter's famous 1913 novel. Not everything was entirely smooth for Julie, though. Savannah, 27, recalled an incident that occurred at the beginning of her mom's sentence involving a staff member. "I will never forget at the very beginning, you called me, and you were all to pieces because that one CO, correctional officer," Savannah said. "He locked her in the cafeteria." "Oh yeah, he was a food service worker," Julie noted. "Yeah, he's since retired." Savannah further alleged that he did it because he was pissed off at her. "He did it on purpose." In a statement to People, a representative for FMC Lexington wrote that humane treatment of the men and women in our custody is a top priority, although they did not comment directly in regards to Julie. "He was just a miserable human being, he really was," Julie claimed as Todd agreed and said, "They all are. I would have put a BP-8 on his he added, referring to filing an administrative complaint. "I was surrounded by miserable human beings, and every day I got up and it was my sole intent to make their life even more miserable because they were there to make our lives miserable." Both Todd and Julie went on to explain that some inmates made an effort to buddy up to the staff, and Todd said never understood why. "They go tell on everyone else," he remembered. "And I would say to them, I'd say, what in your mind makes you think that they're your friends? It is us against them. They are not your friends, that's for sure," Julie quipped. The Chrisley Knows Best alums had been incarcerated since January 2023 after being found guilty on charges of tax evasion and bank fraud in 2022. They were sentenced to a combined 19 years in prison, although that number was later reduced by about 2 years each. Following several attempts to appeal their convictions, President Donald Trump issued Todd and Julie full pardons on May 27 of this year. They returned home the next day and have continued to maintain their innocence. From the moment the steel doors slammed behind him at the federal prison camp in Pensacola, Todd Chrisley, star of Chrisley Knows Best, vowed that he wouldn't go down quietly. The bleach-blonde reality patriarch, once lounging in luxury in Nashville's grandest home, now found himself in khakis and state-issued boots. And according to a newly released prison memoir draft, Todd reportedly dictated to his attorney via 15-minute monitored phone calls, he came into the system with one mission: make their lives a living hell. "I wasn't there to make friends," Todd recounted, his southern drawl laced with defiance. "My sole intent, every single day, was to make the staff as miserable as possible. That's not revenge, honey. That's principle." This wasn't the redemption arc anyone expected. Todd painted a picture of his early days in prison like a man forced to vacation at a 1-star roadside motel. No thread count, no gluten-free options, and the coffee? Don't get me started, sugar. If hell serves Folgers, I was already there. He began small. According to Todd, he developed an allergy, self-diagnosed, overnight. "One sniff of the laundry detergent and I was in the infirmary coughing like Scarlett O'Hara with the vapors. I demanded organic alternatives, lavender, Free-range soaps were denied. Todd allegedly staged what he dubbed a laundry walkout. Refusing to wear anything but his undershirt and a scowl, he shuffled around the yard like a disgruntled runway model. I wasn't trying to start a movement, Todd clarified in the manuscript. But if Vogue ever does a spread called Inmate Chick, I expect royalties. Next, it was food. Todd insisted he couldn't possibly eat the standard fare. You want me to eat slop? Me? Todd Chrisley. I don't even eat chicken unless it went to private school. He filed complaint after complaint, demanded farm-to-table meatloaf, cited invisible digestive issues, asked for quinoa like it was a birthright. When told no, he loudly protested in the chow hall, once even standing on a plastic chair to deliver a monologue about the injustice of artificial cheese. But perhaps his most infamous ploy was the incident now known among inmates and guards as the pillow uprising. I asked for memory foam. They gave me a sandbag, Todd claimed. So, I made a little sign, Pillow Lives Matter, and taped it to my cell door. When the warden removed it, Todd staged a hunger strike, refusing commissary and threatening to write a tell-all titled Prison and Prejudice, the Todd Chrisley story. In the following weeks, Todd began scheduling what he called spiritual accountability sessions with guards. I'd ask them if their mother would be proud of how they treated me. Sometimes I'd just read them passages from my favorite Southern etiquette book. Other times, I'd stare at them in complete silence for an uncomfortable 5 minutes. You'd be surprised what that does to a man. He sent handwritten letters to the Bureau of Prisons daily. I became their pen pal, he bragged. Except instead of love, I sent venom wrapped in satin. His cellmate, whom Todd nicknamed Grumpy Greg, reportedly begged the guards to move him to solitary. He talks about monogrammed napkins in his sleep. Greg complained, according to an anonymous insider. I'd rather share a cell with a raccoon. One of Todd's most iconic stunts involved fashion, naturally. Denied access to a mirror, Todd began polishing the underside of his metal food tray until it reflected his face. You think I'm going to age like a common criminal? Not on my watch, he snapped. I kept those cheekbones sharp enough to cut commissary cheese. He started a makeshift beauty corner in the recreation room. With nothing but petroleum jelly, mint toothpaste, and prayer, Todd began giving fellow inmates prison makeovers. When a guard scolded him for running an unauthorized salon, Todd simply replied, "If you're not going to give us dignity, I'll contour it into their souls." Despite all of this, or maybe because of it, Todd insists that his behavior was never cruel, just revolutionary. I didn't yell. I didn't curse. I just outsassed them. Every time they said no, I said, "Bless your heart," and filed another grievance. His efforts did not go unnoticed. According to internal sources, Todd Chrisley was the subject of at least 73 formal complaints from staff. One guard allegedly resigned after Todd nicknamed him Deputy Dolphus and routinely asked if his badge came from a cereal box. Still, not everyone was annoyed. A few inmates reportedly found his antics inspiring. He was like the Martha Stewart of Cell Block C, one inmate wrote in a smuggled journal. Miserable, extra, but oddly comforting. Eventually, staff stopped reacting to his complaints, hoping he'd tire himself out. He didn't. In his memoir, Todd reflects, "They thought ignoring me would silence me. Baby, I built a reality empire off passive aggression and soft lighting. I thrive in awkward silence." As Todd's release date approached, the staff reportedly counted down with more fervor than he did. On his final day, a guard allegedly muttered, "God bless America," as Todd sauntered out with his pillow slung over his shoulder like a Gucci bag. Todd turned around before stepping into the car that awaited him and delivered a parting line worthy of any reality TV final. "Y'all thought I broke the rules. I just rewrote the script." Now back in the real world, Todd says he's considering launching a prison lifestyle brand, Inmate Luxy, featuring custom jumpsuits, stainless steel vanity mirrors, and pastel-colored grievance forms. He also teased a podcast called Sass Behind Bars. The world thinks prison broke me, Todd declared in a closing note. But honey, all it did was give me new material.